there! Have you been enjoying Bevianas Chronicles? If you are just joining us, can I ask you for a very small favor? Pause. If you have not yet watched part 1 of this Appleton Estate Rum Tour, pause on this video, go to our channel, find that particular video for part 1, watch it, and then come right back. We're not going to go anywhere without you, okay? So if you're just joining us once again and you watched part 1 already, we are on the Appleton Estate Rum Tour. And it's more than a tour really, it's an experience. So we left you at the molasses tasting station. Now we're going to continue. Sit back, relax, and do enjoy.
So we have all this to go. We have fermentation, distillation, aging, blending, bottling, drinking. It's a long way to get here. But, yeah, that's where we are. Now, fermentation is the process of converting sugars into alcohol. So you can ferment any liquid that is sweet to make alcohol, but by law, only sugarcane product can be fermented, distilled, makes rum. You can use the sugarcane juice, the syrup, or molasses, but we choose to use molasses because if you use juice, you will only make rum. But if you boil the juice into molasses and sugar, you make sugar and rum together. Molasses is too thick and too sweet to ferment.
Okay.
So we dilute molasses with water that filtered through the limestone hills. We have our own natural aquifer. Water that filtered from Trelawney, sunk enough wells on the estate. Once we dilute the molasses, we then add yeast to the diluted molasses. Within 36 to 48 hours, the yeast converts 7% alcohol in the molasses. 7%, 7 to 8%. That's like a beer or a Guinness. That's been stored in this big tank that they're cleaning and then sent to the distillery where the magic happens. Presently, we are not in operation. We are cleaning and retooling for the next crop. That normally starts in December, but this year we are a little behind starting time. So they're just getting ready to start maybe next week or the other week, after Christmas.
Okay.
Now that tank holds 120,000 gallons of liquid. And every 2 days, that tank emptied to make rum. Just to show you how much rum produced here daily. So the 7% alcohol in the molasses would send to the distillery where the magic happened, and that's where we're going next, in the distillery. Alright? So fermentation takes 2 days. We get 7% alcohol after fermentation. We send the 7% to upgrade in the distillery. So we're gonna see all that process.
And how long it takes that? The
This is
7% to...
to make rum. In one process it takes 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. The other process it takes less than 10 minutes.
How many?
8,400.
Only?
The smallest?
Only. Third smallest.
Third small.
When the largest in Kingston holds over 40,000 barrels.
Okay.
Presently we are aging not less than 250,000. So we're doing very well on age rums. Barrels are made from American white oaks. We dilute rums from 96 and 86% to 80%. Because aging in tropics at 80% would be the right volume. We then age minimum 3 years, the oldest 50 years. So the oldest rum we bottled aged for 50 years. Now what will take place during the aging process is when the day gets hot, the pores of the oak expands. Once the pores of the wood expand, the alcohol would then seep deep into the pores of the wood. Some of the rum tries to escape while some stays in the pores. When it becomes cooler, like at night, the pores will then go back together. squeezing the rums that was in pores back in cavity. So the rum goes into the wood, back to cavity at night.
So that's how it gets the flavor?
There you go. So as it interacts in and out with the wood from the barrel, it collects colors, flavors, and aromas. So the longer the rum sit in the barrel will be the darker in color, smoother to swallow, sweeter in taste, and more expensive to buy. More expensive because if you look at the transformation of how the rum transforms as it ages, it goes into the barrels 3/4 full. Because you cannot fill the barrels all the way to the top.
Because of the air, it needs the air.
There you go, it have to breathe. So that's the breathing space. Now the breathing space gets wider because what it does, it allows air into the barrel, but it allows rum out of the barrel. So air goes in, rum comes out. We're losing 6% rums per year. So every year 6% evaporates. So just imagine you're aging up to 50 years and you're losing 6% per year. That's what remains after 30 years.
That's why it's so expensive.
There you go, because we gotta eat. Somebody gotta pay for the loss. Company ain't going down. But it is value for money. When you get a drink of these good old age rums, you don't even want to talk to your partners. When I get my 50-year-old, I didn't come to work the next day. You don't want to talk out the aroma, you just want to enjoy and keep the flavor, keep the fragrance in your mouth. That's how good it is. Yeah, I put it 2016 and celebrate my 50th, and I have so many friends. I started to use those 1 ounce shot cups. And there were so many guys, it was a 200 ml, they couldn't reach. So I had to put those cups down and get a straw, a drinking straw. And I fill it, and you stick your tongue out and I let go a drop. That's what I had to do. But you can't say you didn't taste it. Even though it wasn't anything to drink, but you wet your tongue. It is, honestly, it is that good.
Really?
Trust me. It is value for money. Value for money.
And that's all coming from just a little bump of sugar cane.
Just a piece of sugar cane. Right, just a piece of sugar cane. So after aging now, the master blender and her team would now combine the different age and different styles together. So there are no Appleton rum that you drink which is made from a pot still or a column stills. They're all blends of different column and different pots of different ages.
So is the rum going to taste differently every time?
Every time. I mean, it have the consistent taste.
But
It never changes. The flavor never changes.
Right.
Now there's a formula for the different brands, the different blends. But the master blender have to single-handedly check all the barrels that goes into the blend. Say we have 10, 15-year-old, 10, 20-year-old, 10, 19-year-old goes into the barrel blend. Each barrel that goes in the blend have to check before it can go into the mix. Because you could find one of those 10 barrels that didn't get the right color, maybe didn't have the right taste because of some defects. So you have to check it first before it goes into the blend.
Oh,
So those are a part of the 800.
empty.
Say
Part of
again,
it.
which one, sir?
That's what the 50-year-old looks like. So those are a part of the 800. They're 9 out of the 800. 2012, Jamaica celebrates 50 years of independence. That's the year we bottled the 50-year-old, because they were saving these rums since 1962 to celebrate Jamaica 50th. Now, when they saved the barrels, they thought they would have so many bottles to where every Jamaican could get a bottle. But because of evaporations, we could only end up making 800 bottles. Right now, we have 9 prime ministers that served Jamaica. 5 was still alive, 2012, when 4 already passed away. The relatives of the ones who passed away came with the 5 that was alive, and these 4 already passed away at that time. Now these 5 are still alive. So these guys came with the relatives of these guys. And each member get a bottle of 50-year-old to pour into 1 barrel each with rums from 2012. So these 9 barrels will now aged here until 2062, when Jamaica celebrates 100 years of independence. That is when these 9 barrels will be bottled.
Wow.
And everybody can get this style?
No, they're thinking of making maybe 2 barrels, 2.5 barrels.
Way more protected.
And it's one it is 333 bottles from a barrel. So they're not gonna even make a 1,000 bottles.
Wow.
They're gonna label the Prime Minister's Reserve. So they're gonna have minimum 50 years, maximum 100 years.
Call that the Prime Minister Reserve.
Prime Minister Reserve. So you can start saving from now.
Mm.
That's gonna be plenty.
So when you guys,
grandchildren, because we might not be around.
Well, they're planning
Right.
to stay here. I mean, I know we're going.
Anybody, so.
Drink
so
rum.
how do you guys open up the barrels and
You know-
taste them, and then do you guys lock them back up? Or
Yeah,
how
you
do
know, these are called bung. These are the bung holes.
Uh-huh.
So like this 2-inch hole here, there's one in the side normally and one on the other
Side
side.
somewhere,
So
uh-huh.
you get air from one side, yeah. So either the rum coming from this one and air coming through here, or rum coming through here and air coming through there. So you unplug it and then do what you gotta do.
And then you
'Cause
can plug it back.
you
back
plug
in.
it back in, yeah. Because there's no
Mm,
glue,
come here, one
no
more.
additives that add to the barrel. These are called staves, and they're 30 pieces make a barrel.
Mm.
So what they do, they put them together and band it tightly, and then pour the liquid in there. So as the liquid goes in there, it expands the pores, and it automatically seals itself. So you cannot add any glue to really hold these staves together, because they pull all that thing from the rum, would pull it from the thing. So it have to be in natural, straight American white folks. And every 3 years, what we do here is to consolidate. Because you see how much rum remain after 30 years. So the more airspace you have, the more rum gonna evaporate. So every 3 years we try to top it up, 3/4 full. But it must be you're using the same age to fill the same age up. If it's a 10-year-old pot still barrel, you have to use a 10-year-old pot still to fill up a
So
10-year-old
are you
pot still.
consolidating?
Consolidate, there you go, we consolidate. There you go.
But that's before you taste them and make sure they're proper color and stuff?
Yeah, so what during aging, that's what we do every 3 years. So you don't really check on the color and all these things, you just top it up. There's only check on the colors and that when you're gonna blend. You're gonna blend them together. So the barrel that select to go into the blend have to check first before it goes into the blend. Yeah. So after filtering, bottling, then drink it. So we're gonna go back inside, drink it. rum. It's a blend of 15 different select ages. And this now average 4 years. It is not a sipping rum, it's a mixing rum. So this is what you mix with your Coca-Cola, your Pepsi, your ginger beer, ginger ale, or whatever you like. I want to tilt the glass sideways, looking to the light, looking through the rum. Brilliant colors. Then you're going to put the glass in a standing position. Where the rums was on the side of the glass, running back, those are the rum legs. So the young rum will carry quicker movements of legs because the legs are thinner, while the old rum carry a slower movement because those legs will be thicker. So young rum, thin legs, moves quickly. Old rum, thick legs, move slowly. So these are running back very quick because they're thin. Then you will swirl the rum in the glass, open the flavors, and then smell. Now this rum goes right up into the sinuses, straight up into your nostrils, burns your eyes. It is not an old age rum, that is why it is used for mixing. Very hard to consume as is. So you want to add a little something to this one.
So what are we adding?
Presently it's just a taste, so you don't have to add anything. You don't have to add anything, it's one little taste. So now we smell again, you smell hints of molasses, hints of citrus. So you smell not much coffee, any cocoa, any vanilla because it didn't age that long. So the longer the rum ages, the more flavorful it gets. So you smell more flavors in there. Then you will drink to see if you taste what you smell. So go ahead and take a drink.
So go ahead and drink it?
Yeah man, drink it, it's your rum.
Like a shot?
However you like it. However you want it. However. That's your slips. Are you snapping? Just get us up. Alright. It's pretty good. It's not bad for a mixing rum. Alright, good job. I see empty glasses except for the driver. Alright, so we get into the Appleton 8-year-old reserve. One in the middle. Rinse your palate. Rinse your palates. Sounding like sharp. Rinse your palates. The Appleton 8-year-old reserve is our first rum for our master blender, Dr. Joyce Betts. First blend of rum. Until today, she still loves this rum. It is a blend of rum of minimum age 8 years. So this is like an elevated cocktail rum. I sip on it. It's not really one of our great sipper, but it can be sipped. It's pretty good. So we do the same thing. We look at the colors, brilliant colors. Look for the legs, hardly moving. And when you swirl and smell, this rum doesn't burn your nose, it doesn't burn your eyes, and it smells more flavorful. Because it is older age rums, it is much smoother, it is much flavorful. Then you're gonna taste, see how smooth this rum is. So go ahead and knock it back. Much better, right? There you go. That's the beauty with the age of it. And this is 43% alcohol. Even though it is stronger, it is much smoother because it aged longer in the barrels. All right? Rinse your palate. We go into the...
What's the percentages?
That's 40, this is 43, and that's 45% alcohol.
How much was it?
40%.
5?
40%.
40.
40.
Can't tell that.
43. 45.
Oh.
No, man, don't go by 5, you're too sharp. Alright, so the Appleton 12-year-old rear cast is our first sipping rum. So with this rum, you don't even like to add nothing with it. You do the same thing. And what I want you to do with this one is to look where the rum meets. Right around the surface of the glass here. There's a light olive green ring that goes around the edge of the glass. That's called the green ring of aging. So the older the rums are, the brighter the green, the younger would be the lighter the green. So if this was a 21-year-old, you would see it from a mile how bright that green is. That's called the green ring of aging. You can add caramel to any unaged rum, get the colors, but you won't see the green ring of aging. Then you're gonna swirl the rum in the glass and smell it. Swirling, you're smelling coffee. You smell cocoa. You smell more vanilla. This rum carries more flavors because it ages longer. So the longer it ages, the more flavorful it gets. For some folks, they like it on the rocks, some like it with a splash of water, or some like it neat. I like it neat. When you add ice to these good old age rums and swirl, the ice bruised the legs of the rum. I hate to damage my rum legs. I like to have them soft, warm, and smooth. So I keep it in the palms of the hand so the body temperature does the trick. So the temperature, your body temperature, warms the legs. So when you swallow, instead of the legs going down bruised and damaged, they go down soft, warm, and smooth. So no ice in my old age. I want you to take a small taste and then chew the chocolate. Daddy, you good for your... Take a small taste, chew the chocolate and swallow rum and chocolate. I'm trying to see if I find it. Swallow the chocolate. It's pretty good with the chocolate. So old age rum, dark chocolate, all it needs is another bar of chocolate, another shot of rum. These two together are very good, and you're supposed to, you know, chill out in the moonlight and all these good things. I like these two. Dark chocolate with old age rum. The next one we have will be the Appleton 21-year-old, but unfortunately, it is not on the mats. Then we have the Appleton 23-year-old, which you only get to buy here. The 23 is sold nowhere else in the world but in the gift shop. Then we have the Joy, which is a 25-year-old. Then we have the 30-year-old and the 50-year-old. Those are the range of premium brands that we sell. And that brings us down, guys, to the end of the experience. I must thank you so much for coming. I enjoyed every moment of your company. Hope you did enjoy the tour as well, find it informative, and you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Did you enjoy that just as much as we did? Listen, we enjoyed it to the point where we do plan to go back another time without the cameras this time around. You know, the cameras this time was for you guys. We need to go back and enjoy it just for ourselves. We kind of get the feeling that Appleton Estate Rum Experience, Rum Tour Experience, is one of those places where you can go more than once, multiple times, and each time that you go, you just feel as if it's the first time that you've been. You get that vibe. And I mean, the history, the environment, the peace and quiet that you're going to experience while you learn a little bit about what this product is all about. It's the biggest takeaway ever. And it's quite reasonable as well. So I want to again support the Jamaican brands, and I want to encourage persons out there who are listening to do likewise. We have our brand, we have our companies, we need to support Jamaicans. Yes, you might say Appleton Estate is, well known and famous and rich and whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still Jamaican, and as Jamaicans, we do what? Support Jamaicans. Now, the tour would not have been complete without a trip to the souvenir store. And in this store, I must tell you that you have an array of Appleton Estate branded products. You can get t-shirts, flasks, a selection of rums, of course. And I guarantee that you're going to be getting these rums without the middleman markup price, if you know what I mean. Still, you might want to walk with a pretty penny because, as you would have heard in some parts of the tour, this is a product that is priceless. And when the price tag is added, you can imagine how much you can pay for it. But it's still going to be cheaper. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Appleton Estate Rum Experience was an experience and a half. I must say this before I go, that I was pleasantly surprised at the taste of the aged rum. We have this notion of rum being bitter, harsh, all of those things. And you only use it in baking or use it to mix drinks or whatever. I will tell you that I learned, and I've often seen or heard of persons doing it, but I never knew it could happen. I learned that you can actually have rum by itself. I mean, just in moderation, of course. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Appleton Estate Rum Experience. It's an experience and a half that I want you, our subscribers, and those who are watching, even if you have not yet subscribed, to have for yourself. So listen, road is out there to do. Road is going to be done by Bevianas Chronicles. Until next time, wherever the feeling takes us, wherever the vibe takes us, wherever the mood takes us, until next time, see you. Bye.